Hello and welcome to this video on randomized block designs. Randomized block designs are an experimental design that helps us determine any variables that may or may not have an effect on our data as we go through with an experiment. Before we get into that though, we're going to quickly introduce what randomized design structure is. In an experiment we will have our subjects and we will either give them treatment 1 or treatment 2. These treatments are randomly assigned to the X amount of subjects we have and put into groups, where we will then assess the data based off of those groups. Randomized block design structure, though, adds another layer into it. See how we have our subjects and we are then separated into block A and block B. This is the variable that may or may not have an effect on the different treatments. Within the blocks, they are then randomly assigned the treatment 1 or treatment 2 and then put into group A1, A2, B1, and B2. We then assess the data based off of their group, their treatment, and the block and make the comparisons. To put this in more of an engineering perspective, we're going to look at a paint treatment that is starting to bubble on our production line once it reaches a certain heat. But first we need to determine what sort of variable may affect this. We do get our paint from two different suppliers, so we'll separate those suppliers into their own blocks. When we test the actual cars and put them into a sort of heat test, we will need to know before we test it which supplier the paint came from. So then we will randomly assign those cars in each block to the heat test or without and assess the paint damage according to the heat test or the control and then which supplier it came from to try to dig into our own problem. This will help us determine if it's a supplier problem or if it's some other variable that we need to account for. In conclusion, randomized block designs can be extremely important for an experimental structure and integrity to make sure that you're getting the most accurate results possible. Thank you for watching.